Good morning, welcome, 1,000 welcomes. And we are meditating today on the fantastic topic of harmony. And so this is part of our focus on how to navigate change. From one perspective, from the perspective of our eternal, true awareness, the love and the joy of our being, we are always the energy of harmony. And there's no change. We are that which never changes, which is always free, which is pure joy, which is infinite vitality and steadiness and kindness and patience and good humor and laughter and hope. And then there's the human self, which has its experiences in time and space and can sometimes feel something other than harmony. And so we're on the one hand connecting with that enormous, limitless harmony within ourselves, which is always available, and reaching out to embrace the human aspects of ourselves, which are capable of feeling chaos or cacophony, things which are very, very different from harmony, and loving all aspects of ourselves, being kind and wise and aware as we respond to all aspects of ourselves. And then we'll be able to navigate change joyfully, but we'll also be able to respond to anyone else, whatever they're experiencing, whether they're being their harmonious selves or whether they're being their chaotic, cacophonous selves. Will be steady and balanced within ourselves. So a couple of scriptures, which are marvelous. And then I'm so excited to share with you a very amusing story, which also makes visible these eternal truths. And it also just helps us laugh and connect with that energy of joy within ourselves. And then we should have time as well to connect in meditation with some pretty transformative ways to energize what is most harmonious and most helpful within ourselves on all sorts of levels. And so that's what we're sort of looking at. So one of the teachings that I came across that just made me smile was the Buddha, the one who is awake. He says, keep your focus on liberation. So whatever it is where you are seeking liberation, keep your focus on that. And so ask yourself as well, on what am I focusing? And so an example would be, we started off in our meditation connecting with our body. Every human body has a magnificent, beautiful, potent ability to heal. So if you're noticing something other than a full expression of health within your body, notice it, but don't dwell on it, and immediately turn in this moment and say, I choose to focus in this moment on my body's potent, magnificent ability to heal. And then notice there will also be corresponding practical steps that arise from that. You will receive guidance, simple things like take a nap, take a bath, take a walk. This food would be helpful or healing. Or if you need to consult a particular healing modality or doctor, you will have guidance about that too. If there is a fear from your childhood, for example, that you are somehow carrying, which is with you in your experience of a less than full expression of health, you'll be able to see it. And you'll be able to reach out an arm of comfort to your 4-year-old self and say, it's okay, self. We don't have to stay back there in that fear. We can energize this potent healing in the beautiful now. So that's just an example, but keep your focus on what you would love to help create. Have the awareness of what you would prefer not to create and use that to launch you into what you would prefer to create. And the same thing is true for our emotional well-being. And so, for example, if what you would love to connect with is this energy of wisdom, this energy of joy, this calm, this poise, this good humor that is always present in your heart, but instead what you're feeling is impatience or doubt or anger or hatred or judgment, notice what you would prefer not to keep feeling, and then use that as a launching into what you would prefer to feel. And so in the now, I choose to focus on my heart's potent ability to be strong and calm and brave and steady and glad. And then just notice, you can feel the difference instantly. And so from moment to moment, as many times as it takes, make that pivot from what you would prefer not to experience. Keep your focus, the Buddha says. Keep your focus on liberation. And so too with our mind. So if we find ourselves in patterns of thinking that we're not finding to be particularly helpful or liberating, notice that, have the awareness, and use that to launch toward what it is that we would prefer to focus on. And so in this moment, I choose to connect with my mind's ability to be calm and aware and expansive and insightful. And it flows to you instantly because each of us is always connected to strength, to vitality, to joy, to kindness, to steadiness, to forgiveness, to gladness, to good humor, to insight, to awareness. And so what we're doing is focusing on that which is eternally true in a way that doesn't repress or deny or push down or push away what it is we would prefer not to experience, and which is not eternally true, but we're able to reach out and include that and encompass that in what is always true, what is always real, what is always present and possible and available. So the Buddha's short teaching, keep your focus. So just whatever it is that you would love to help create and energize today, this very day, ask yourself, what would I love to help create and energize? Keep your focus. Identify what you would love and then keep your focus. The Bhagavad Gita tells us, when the senses and mind act in perfect harmony with the divine, liberation is attained. So liberation is, and we notice, liberation's already here when our senses and mind are harmonized with the divine. And so with your senses, invite them to harmonize with the divine. Invite them to harmonize with what is pure light, with what is supreme love. And so there are very practical ways in which we can do this. Invite your body to tune in to what strengthens the body. And that will help you know how many glasses of clear, fresh water to drink today, how much sleep to give my body today, how much exercise, what foods, what energy and information. So in what ways am I consuming images or news or energy, or information, and is that helping my body or not to harmonize with the divine? And so we're continually connecting with, we are always an expression of this divine harmony. And as we connect with that, then it naturally flows into the body and analogously into the heart and into the mind, what it is that would most help us be full expressions of divine harmony and divine balance, divine beauty. And that's liberation. It's already here, and then we become ever more free and full and joyful expressions of that. So I think with you right now, there's a couple more scriptures which we probably have time to turn to, but I want to share with you a story. This is a story that's been making the rounds on various news sites, so you might have seen it. It's pretty recent. But it's a story about a man on the morning of his 60th birthday, and this was sometime in August of this year. He woke up and he fulfilled a dream which he had had for 8 or 10 years of rafting down the Missouri River in a giant pumpkin boat to break the world record for how many miles had been traveled in a giant pumpkin boat. And so I want to share with you a couple of the wonderful details about this story. So he, for a hobby, grows pumpkins. And so 8 or 10 years ago, he became aware there was a world record at that particular time, how many miles someone had traveled in a giant pumpkin boat. And he said, I want to do that. So ever since then, he's been planting giant pumpkins and waiting for one to be giant enough to form a boat that would form a vessel that would then be able to carry him down the river and allow him to fulfill his particular dream. And so just think about how much faith and patience and steadiness and commitment and dedication and follow through, and also how much laughter and joy it takes to keep growing giant pumpkins for 8 to 10 years, waiting for one to be big enough. And so just think also of all the elements. There's the earth, there's the sky, there's the rain, there's the water, there's the sun, there's the wind. All of these elements come together to make it possible for him, finally, this year, to grow a pumpkin that turned out to be almost 850 pounds when he harvested it. So 846 pounds, I think, is the actual weight of this giant pumpkin. So he named it. That pumpkin was Big Berta. So, and if you can imagine, so he had to use this bobcat to lift this giant pumpkin into this kind of pool in order to float it, to see where the float line was, and he had to cut the pumpkin off at that level, hollow out the inside, and then he got to fulfill his dream, floating down the Missouri River. So I want to talk with you a little bit about the logistics of this. His sister flew out from California. There's apparently a lot of paperwork involved if you're attempting to break a world record. So she was helping document, like, all the things that had to be documented. She said, yeah, so for the first 5 miles, it was really fun. But there were 41 miles all told. And then it got to be really hard. And it took dedication and persistence and commitment and faithfulness and follow through to keep going. So this guy, if you can imagine it, he was rowing himself down the river in this giant pumpkin boat. It took almost 12 hours to travel these 41 miles. And he couldn't even wave to people. So you can imagine, he would pass through these towns and people would be like, what is that? He couldn't even wave, because if he waved, the pumpkin would veer off in that direction, and then it would threaten to take on water. And so then as well, anytime a passing watercraft went by, those waves, he had to be extremely vigilant. Every single wave threatened to kind of take on water for his giant pumpkin boat. So he said, I had to be on top of it every single moment for 12 hours, just like this unremitting dedication. And this is, I mean, it's obviously hilarious and fun and joyful, and it's an act of love made visible in that particular way. Every one of us is invited to be this love and this dedication and this faithfulness and this follow through and this commitment, and be on top of it every moment in this unremitting way. And what makes it possible is that energy of joy, that energy of love. So I'm going to share with you a couple of other really funny things. So he gets to mile 41, and he's officially broken the world record for distance traveled in a giant pumpkin boat. Woohoo! And his daughter is there to greet him, and she's crying. She's crying these happy tears. And so the TV interviewer interviews her and says, you're crying. And she says, my dad always says, you can do what you want. I'm just so proud of him. And so you can do what the love of your being wants to do through you. And it takes the 8 or 10 years. And it takes working with all of the elements involved. And it takes working in cooperation and community and harmony. His sister flew out from California. I also want to point out, they interviewed his wife, and they said, what's it like being married to this guy? Her one-word answer, stressful. And then she elaborated, and she said, you never know what's going to be next. And then she gave him a giant kiss. And so you know it's like full-on love in the midst of the stress and in the midst of the, you never know what's going to be next. And that's also perfectly lovely definition for human partnership. Like whether we're talking marriage partnership or friend partnership or spiritual community partnership or the way that you work, wherever you are with your neighbors, stress is in the realm of time and space, and you never know what's going to be next. And it's full on love. And so just keep choosing to focus on that full-on love, and that makes it possible to respond gracefully and with wisdom and kindness when your spouse says, honey, I'm going to wake up on the morning of my 60th birthday, and I'm going to travel 41 miles down the Missouri River in a giant 846-pound pumpkin boat named Big Bertha. And so for each of us, if you connect with the joy of your being, obviously your being probably doesn't want to express itself in that particular way. That was probably unique to that beautiful human. But connect with the beautiful way that your beingness wants to express itself. Like there's this kind of vital yes that your beingness rises up and says. And when each of us connects with that, that's what allows us to keep saying yes through the stress of any human partnership. That's what allows us to keep saying yes through being in a human body, being in a human heart, experiencing a human mind. And there is so much beauty, there is so much joy, there's so much happiness, there's so much goodness that is in this world. And then we're aligning continually with that and helping make beauty and aliveness and harmony and joy and goodness visible in time and space. So I'll share with you that this is a teaching from St. Paul, and it's from 2 Corinthians chapter 3. And he's basically telling us the same thing we've been focusing on. He uses slightly different phrasing, but it's the same spiritual insight. He says, what was glorious has no glory now in comparison with surpassing glory. And if what was transitory came with glory, how much greater is the glory of that which lasts? So the glory of that which lasts it is within us. And when we connect with that, then we're able to be connected with the glory of the river and the pumpkin and the daughter and the sister and the wife and all the elements that come together to make visible our particular dream in time and space. St. Paul also says, a veil covers the heart, but whenever anyone turns to the divine, the veil is taken away. The divine is the Spirit. Where the Spirit is, there is freedom. So wherever you're feeling blocked or cut off from that full expression of confidence and trust and security, and that willingness to just go all out, like that guy had to be willing to just be crazy in love with his dream. And it's a hilarious dream, and it's gorgeous. So whatever your hilarious, beautiful dream is, be crazy in love with it, and be willing to go all out for it to become visible in time and space. Don't be shy. Like, there is a dream that can only be visible through you. That's how amazing you are. And the whole is only complete when that dream becomes visible through you. And so trust the goodness of your dream, independent of whether your dream makes people laugh. Like, I was laughing with him. I hope you could tell. But say that someone laughs at him. His dream is still perfectly beautiful and worthy. So another way of saying this is, when you know that eternal glory has got your back, when you know, so give yourself this image, 1,000 beings of light are embracing you, and they are saying, you are loved. You are beloved. See if you can allow yourself to actually feel that. 1,000 beings of light are embracing you, and they are saying, you are beloved. You are loved. Notice what happens if a single cantankerous human comes your way and is like, nya, 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 nya. It doesn't matter, because you feel this love has got my back, so it's fine if this single cranky human doesn't particularly resonate with you. You can just like kiss and bless that person and say, great, like please go enjoy whatever you do love. That's fine. And we are connected with almost like this, the image that came to me was like a wall of love, but it's not like a defensive wall of love. It's like a wall of love that's open to all the love in the universe. And that's got your back always. That's steady and bright and strong within each of us. And St. Paul also says, when we turn to the Spirit of the Lord, when the veil is taken away from our heart, when we, with unveiled faces, contemplate divine glory, we are transformed into divine glory. So when we turn and we face the light, we transform into the light. And then the light is able to share through us, and it's joy. It's just absolute beauty, it's magnificence, and it's awe, and it's wonder. And we're sort of able to be our fully human, amazing self, and also this glorious, eternal aspect of ourselves. So all of this glory comes from the divine. It doesn't belong to us. And when we remember that as well, we can just say, glory can be fully glorious through us. And there's like no possessiveness, there's no fear, there's no doubt, there's no holding back, there's no self-judgment, there's no judgment of others, there's just permission. I give permission to the divine to be glorious through me. And I give permission to myself, being comfortable, being myself, being exactly who I am. So quickly, I'm closing my eyes. If you like, I invite you to close your eyes as well. And first, a few moments ago, I invited us to connect with the heart of each one of us has a song. It has a song of joy. It has a song of gladness. It has a song of kindness and love. And it's completely unafraid. It's absolutely filled with trust and faith and confidence. And so connect with that song that is within each of us. It is a signature vibration, an energy, a frequency. It is completely unique to you. And just allow yourself to feel how mighty that energy is. And so first, we've been doing this all along, but when you connect with that, you can flow that energy into your body. And in this moment, give your body permission to be strong and steady and healthy and vital. And you can flow that energy into your emotions and give yourself permission to be wise and peaceful and secure and emotionally calm and steady in relation to emotions that others feel. And you can flow that energy into your awareness, your mind, and you can connect with your own insight, your own expansiveness. And then I'm inviting us to connect with some aspect of ourselves that has felt hurt over the past week. And just invite that aspect of ourselves that has felt hurt over the past week into the energy of your heart. So you don't have to be afraid of the aspect of yourself that felt hurt. There doesn't need to be shame or blame. You're not denying it or pushing it away. You're allowing it to rise into the light and be included and held by the love and the joy and the strength and the vitality and the wisdom and the good humor of your being. And just notice what happens. The conflict melts away. What was scary is no longer scary. What seemed like a big deal is no longer a big deal. And so give yourself permission to feel right now within ourselves, within our eternal selves, but also within our human selves. I give myself permission to feel harmony on every level of my body and my being. And I am unafraid. I allow myself to connect with the beauty and the joy and the light and the pure love and the laughter and the kindness and the wisdom and the grace of my being. And I reach out and include in my awareness all the aspects of myself that have been afraid and hurting and sad. And if any aspects of myself have felt mad or filled with blame or shame or hatred or anger, I include those as well. And in this pure energy of harmony, I give myself permission to move forth joyfully, steadily, with dedication and persistence and perseverance and fortitude and follow through. I give myself permission to move forward toward my dream. I have confidence, faith, and trust in the value of the life energy that is in me, that is me. And I choose to take small, practical, concrete, daily steps toward realizing my dream in time and space. From moment to moment, from day to day, from year to year, for this lifetime, this I choose. Thank God, and God bless us all.